for Combo Breaker 1v1s was that he's definitely more of a 2v2 player. 100% he is a 2v2 player, and his 2v2 placements, you don't really put those up side by side with his 1v1s and be like, what's the disconnect here? I don't understand. He's just a 2s player.
Yeah. There are few players who are just raw 2v2 players, but the few that are incredible at it. Daze going to be coming in with the Thor pick alongside Pugsyxd on the Barasa.
Sandstorm, of course, coming in with this Zol pick that at one point seemed like a meme, and then he kind of shut down all thoughts of that very, very quickly. Showed the potency of Cannon, showed the potency of Axe that we kind of already knew about in singles, but even back when it wasn't as such a dominating force as it is now, going back to like early 2019, he was able to show things like that in the Winter Championship back then. But Daze coming in with the Thor pick. We've seen several Thors here today. Definitely a main character now for Daze and has been for some time. There you see the D-Light recovery coming in from Boomie. Not necessarily on his main character, but definitely on his main weapon.
Yep, blasters can do that D-Light recovery regardless of character, as long as they've got the blasters in hand. Unfortunately for the blue team, Daze is going to be the first one to lose a stock, though, to that blasters downline recovery. Boomie charging up the side heavy, Daze from behind, able to stop that fist from coming out.
Daze tipping the edge guard over onto Sandstorm earlier, came in with the unarmed ground pound. Oh, a signature coming out from Daze. More punishment onto Daze. He's going to have to be careful. He's fishing for these knockout options, finds the dare, still not enough. Sends Sandstorm off screen. Oh, is this going to be the edge guard? And it is, to confirm the second stock loss. D-Light side air was a little bit too far. Maybe Boomie was a little bit worried about picking up that recovery in that positioning. So he went for the side air, was over on the left side of the stage, knocks out. The blue team has as many stocks as Boomie. Now, okay, they have as many stocks as Sandstorm.
Side air will take down Sandstorm's first stock, but Daze really has to survive here. If Daze gets taken out, he can't stock steal from Pugsyxd and come back in. Instead, it's just going to be Pugsyxd left to a 2v1 against Boomie and Sandstorm. And while we haven't seen Boomie and Sandstorm's cross Zol 2v2 combos, you got to believe they've got something in the pocket.
Neutralite came out from Boomie. Daze ended up getting knocked out of it, and while Boomie was still in those multiple hits, oh, what a follow-up for Sandstorm to knock it out. Doesn't get the neutral signature off of that D-Light side air from Boomie, but Daze is in a bad state here. Boomie's just now getting into the orange on his second stock. Same thing for Sandstorm. Daze is done. Pugsyxd might be done here too. Boomie going down deep. 2 ground pounds coming out from Pugsyxd. The first one got interrupted and punished. Nice down air. Sandstorm over on the edge. Boomie going under. Very glad there's not pillars on this map.
Pugsyxd more than willing to fight these 1v1s off stage. That's his best position to get back into this one. Being able to split up that red team. It's so much harder to fight against one person on that edge, but he's able to take the stock off of Sandstorm, gets the side air, almost gets the stock off of Boomie, but Boomie able to avoid any sort of knockout option from Pugsyxd in the power play.
And this is the difficult spot that Pugsyxd finds himself in, and it seems obvious, but you saw earlier how Pugsyxd had Boomie in the red over on the edge, hit him with multiple axe dares. In a 1v1 game, that's going to be a very solid advantage state for Pugsyxd. Oh, and Boomie still gets the side air off of it, but not being able to 1v1 someone on the edge when you normally would have the advantage state because Sandstorm was there. He didn't really even have to do very much. He wasn't putting a ton of pressure with moves or being close to Pugsyxd or anything. He was just right there in case Pugsyxd wanted to try something.
Yeah, just that presence, just in case, can be so incredibly vital. And now we're getting right on into game 2. No character swaps on either side. Daze just knows if he can survive a little bit longer, they might have a chance. They did bring Boomie and Sandstorm down to final stocks here in game number 1. Now we're into game number 2. And of course, since we're in the top 8, there will be a game number 3 at the very least.
Dare's coming in from Boomie, follows up with the recovery. Dare from Pugsyxd, almost gets the side air. Boomie right in the middle of both blue team members. Sandstorm early on in the game, 20 seconds, he's already in the orange. He's about tied with Daze in terms of damage. Is Daze going to be able to get the edge guard? No, Sandstorm disengages, goes back to the main platform, grabs the axe. Nair coming out from Daze. Daze is unarmed here. He's going to eat a ground pound from Boomie. That's the second time Boomie's taken him out with one of those. Boomie trying to follow up. Pugsyxd over, stuck on the edge. In comes Sandstorm. Recovery. Boomie punishes it immediately.
Some great target swaps from Boomie, some great pressure from Boomie. Daze able to pick up the recovery off of that neutralite from Boomie onto his teammate. That's going to keep them close, but Boomie still living on this first stock, has plenty of health to work with where he's going to be knocked out.
And that's two really good moments where Daze got a fantastic punish. It wasn't necessarily the biggest move in the world, but he was able to grab two things, and I think he punished Boomie twice in a row really quickly while Boomie was stuck in a move that has a lot of active frames hitting his opponent. So that's great follow-up coming out from Daze.
Yeah, those small capitalizations can be so vital. Boomie now starting to get into that kill percent. Daze with some fantastic orb play, but Boomie's going to get another recovery, and Daze is now down to his final stock.
D-Light Nair coming out from Sandstorm, not enough to knock out Pugsyxd yet. Went for the D-Light ground pound. Boomie's able to find the knockout. Ooh, they are really close, not really in the right position to set up for a 2v2 combo.
Nice recovery from Pugsyxd. Will get that first stock of Boomie shutting him down. The Daze gonna fall to the side air, and again, it's left to Pugsyxd in the 1v2.
A little bit of a misstep there between the two. Now they got it almost locked in. Didn't quite get the Nair off of the Dare. The down air from Pugsyxd, the weapon toss going up. Pugsyxd's gonna have to follow that and follow Boomie and follow Sandstorm to try to get a knockout here. Oh, interrupts the gravity, gets a side signature. Sandstorm still going in. Pugsyxd doesn't have anything left, and that is the game. Game 2 going the way of Boomie and Sandstorm.
Somewhere in there, Boomie just decided to walk off the left side just to make the stock out a little closer.
And this is forcing a swap. Pugsyxd going over onto the Brawlhalla pick.
That is an interesting pick. It is rare for people to swap to something with less defense. Of course, for Pugsyxd, this is like a big comfort pick. This is the thing that he's been the most successful with, but still, going into this 4 defense, he's in the defense stance, in a 2v2 can be so incredibly risky.
Now, we haven't seen the swap from Daze. Not totally unexpected. He is been going really hard on this Thor, even when some players have sort of moved off the Thor, maybe gone a different direction, maybe gone back to something that they used to play before that. Daze is still on this Thor pick, but he's been getting knocked out every time he's put Pugsyxd into the 1v2 situation. He's been knocked out first in each game as well, losing his first stock before everyone else. Ooh, just in the red after that side air, but this time we're seeing that defense difference coming in as Pugsyxd gets knocked out first, very early on with the axe side air.
Yo, but this is still close and doable for the blue team. Going off stage, the turnaround from Boomie almost catches Pugsyxd, but Daze is gonna fall to Sandstorm on the Zol. Red team still sitting on their first stocks in the red.
That down air almost ended up hitting Pugsyxd. Oh, Pugsyxd's able to somehow get back the recovery. Stage spikes Boomie down. Some decent damage was done onto Pugsyxd, but they've evened up the stocks, and this is pretty much closer than we've seen it this entire set so far between these two teams.
Daze with some big hammer play. Great juggles onto Sandstorm, but on the left side, Boomie sends Pugsyxd flying. Again, that low defense spelling trouble for Pugsyxd. Oh no! Great interrupt from Pugsyxd.
And he ends up hitting the axe side air onto Boomie as well. Still not enough to knock out Cross. Got some heavy defense in there.
Nice neutral heavy.
Now
Still not enough.
We haven't seen Boomie go for the Hand of God at all here. Like that side signature, I kind of forgot that the Cross had a signature kit for a moment because we really haven't seen Boomie throw those out as much as he was in singles. I think we've seen a couple neutral signatures maybe as a follow-up option off of something that Sandstorm's doing because it covers that like kind of low to the ground a little bit. But other than that, we really haven't seen very much. A couple D6 here and there as well. There's another one.
Suddenly the blue team has a very slight lead, but Daze deep in the red. Pugsyxd low defense in the orange. Red team could easily steal back the lead here.
So it's not only this swap over to Brawlhalla for Pugsyxd, and we'll be able to further see that reflected in the numbers at the end of the game. Daze is going to go down to the D-Light recovery from Boomie, charging up that D-Sig for Sandstorm. Pugsyxd goes back over around the corner, punishes Sandstorm for it as well. Doesn't get caught on the edge. Pugsyxd is taking some damage, though. He's in the orange on his final stock, and as Brawlhalla's got to be so careful.
Side sig thrown out. You see them starting to throw out a lot of signatures. They know that if any of these hit, it is going to be devastating for the blue team. But Daze doing a great job just keeping this pressure on the red team, putting the hurt onto Sandstorm, target swapping over to Boomie, but the ground pound connects. It's all left to Daze in the 1v2.
Oh, and there's the neutral signature from Boomie, the big duff coming out. And look at the kind of a damage difference here. Boomie putting out 641. Meanwhile, Sandstorm only putting out 406, so that's almost a 250 damage difference between Boomie and Sandstorm, but they're still both picking up 3 knockouts, really kind of spreading that evenly. On the other side, Daze and Pugsyxd still pretty close, about 150 damage difference between those two, both of them picking up 2 knockouts. So even though both of these teams have had a pretty easy trip through the bracket so far today, 2-0ing in all of their sets, this one continued to be an easy set for Boomie and Sandstorm compared to Pugsyxd and Daze.
Yep, and that does mean Boomie and Sandstorm have solidified their spot in the top 3 of things. Pugsyxd and Daze now have to make that losers bracket run. Over on the other side of winners semifinals, we've got